Hey everyone, welcome into today's review of Don't Look Up. So, if you've been following the channel, last week was a review of Doctor Strangelove because I feel like this movie kind of takes a few notes from that movie's playbook, making a movie about the end of the world, using something that I think is very much top of mind for the audience of this movie, top of mind for a lot of people. So, what do we think about it? I kind of wanted to start today talking about the relationship between the director of this movie, Adam McKay, who made things like Anchorman, Talladega Nights, and has moved more towards socially conscious movies, things like Don't Look Up. Started off with The Big Short, which is great. Went over to things like Vice. So I think that a good way to look at this is the split that happened between him and Will Ferrell. They had their own production company. Will Ferrell said that he wanted to continue to focus more on being an entertainer, being a comedian, maybe moving into some dramatic roles, focusing production on, more entertainment, I would say, storytelling. And Adam McKay wanted to become more of an influencer, someone who told what would be quote-unquote important stories. And, that's all well and good, but they just didn't see eye to eye on that. And I think that seeing Will Ferrell kind of take the path in his career where he is focusing on more drama roles, dramedies, I hate that word, but, dramedies, it is what it is. And to see Adam McKay doing more things like Vice, doing more things like Don't Look Up. He's making a January 6th movie coming up. He's going to do a movie about the Theranos creator, Elizabeth Holmes, which I'm very excited about that. I feel like that could be an exciting role. But, that's the more socially conscious type movies, more current event type movies. So I think that informs a lot of the types of movies that he's making, and I feel like there's a danger with that type of thinking because it's very easy to make. I talked about this on the Patreon last week, the idea of movies being about something versus a movie, like what is the difference between a movie being about something and a movie spilling over into being full on just like a message movie? And when does that get to the point that it's just straight propaganda? Like there's so many movies that I think in tons of people, regardless of where you're coming from, you can see them as propaganda movies or cheesy message movies. I feel like the best types of movies are ones that just are about something, and they do that by telling a very good story. Now, there's a lot of technical stuff I'll say about Don't Look Up that, good stuff. So it's shot very well. Leonardo DiCaprio is very funny in it. He plays an introvert, which is not the type of thing that he normally goes for, but he does it understated very, very well, and he's very funny. I think his character is the best of the characters. It actually shows someone kind of regressing and becoming a worse version of themselves, and then kind of having a certain level of redemption in that. And he plays that very well in a way that does not feel hammy at all. And I think that role could have become very hammy. The side characters, Cate Blanchett does a good job. Tyler Perry's very funny. Meryl Streep, a little too much. Jonah Hill, very funny. You can tell that they've got the same type of improv talent that they were doing in things like Step Brothers, and that clearly they're still very good at doing that and bringing that to a set. Adam McKay still seems very good at that. The Jennifer Lawrence character, while I think she would do a great job as Elizabeth Holmes, her character is very annoying in this movie, and everything that is wrong with this movie, and I really hated this movie. I did not enjoy it at all. There were some funny jokes. Some of the jokes, and everything that was funny, I felt kind of got poisoned by the type of behavior that Jennifer Lawrence's character kind of personifies throughout the whole thing. Jennifer Lawrence's character throughout the entire movie is pretty much there to just kind of announce whenever something is going wrong. She is the person who found the asteroid that is going to destroy the planet, and her role is to tell people that what they're doing is incorrect, to tell people that what it is that they are trying to do instead is immoral. She's the preacher role, essentially. She is supposed to come on and either get the story to the next level of we have to do something about this, or she has to condescend to everyone that isn't doing everything correctly, especially whenever they're going way, way, way out of their way to make it very, very clear that, a wrong decision is being made and we all have to wake up and we all have to listen. The problem I feel with movies like this is that you end up getting people that are separated into the camps of, I didn't like this movie because of what it was saying, and then people who say, I really like this movie because of what it was saying. And I hate the movies that make you have that conversation in the first place. The reason I want to do this talk about Doctor Strangelove was there was obviously a movie about the Cold War that took place at a time where that was the very forefront of everyone's mind. Everyone was very scared about it. But it comes across talking about or telling a story that deals with issues, not so much deals with them as talks about them, and kind of brings out the comedy in the ridiculousness of the situation without moralizing at any point. And Doctor Strangelove does such a good job because it is free of judgment, it is free of moralizing. Anything in there that you find that comes out of your own discussion that you have about the actual characters. Characters at the forefront, stories at the forefront. And you can tell that with this movie, story is not at the forefront. There is kind of a message at the forefront. And for everybody who has had to sit through like a freaking Christian movie, you know those, if you don't know them, look them up. Look up movies like Courageous or Facing the Giants. Movies that the people that love those movies, the faith-based movies, they love them because of what they're saying. And then around the edges, they'll say, oh, well, this was bad, but this was good. Don't Look Up is the exact same type of thing. And look, the thing is, I'll just get out of the way. I'm sympathetic to a lot of the messaging that is going on in this movie. But I don't think you should ever have to say that about a movie. That is very annoying. That's not entertaining. It's divisive. I feel like it's a cheap way of getting a story across and getting some eyeballs on a movie. That just it feels divisive. And I love movies that are divisive, things like Clockwork Orange or Joker, everything Lars von Trier does, but not in a way that's just going at it from a purely political lens. I find that very boring. You end up not talking about a story at all. Everyone just ends up talking about the message, and there is no story for you to then talk about. So I really wish that it had told this story, but come at it with a little bit less of the preaching angle, because that is, yeah, like I said, I won't keep saying it. So let me know what you think about Don't Look Up. The style, like I said, it's shot very well. I like Adam McKay's kind of documentary-type style. I'm excited to see the show that he's doing about the Lakers. I just really wish that story was more forefront, character was more forefront, because you can feel that it's missing that almost entirely in this movie. You can feel that in Vice, and I hope we don't see that with the rest of the stuff that he does. But again, leave your thoughts in the comments, and please be sure to subscribe to 5 Minute Critic for future updates on reviews and movie news.